Greetings, sports fans, and welcome back to the Crash Bang Wallop Cup here on Smash and Grab TV. I'm your host, Double D, here with Joe tonight for the first match of the 5th round, and it's Tolmandary's champions versus the Blazing I can't speak at all. Versus the Blazing Squigskins here at the Squig Pen. Joe, how are you tonight?
I'm good, Double D. How are you doing, man? You sound a wee bit flustered. Hope you're making your way to the studio here, okay?
Yeah, I'm not actually going to make it to the studio. I'm recording remotely at the moment with a crystal ball that I snatched, borrowed from the studio. Let's say I'm just keeping myself free and easy at the moment, but I hope you can hear me fine. I can see perfectly well on this crystal ball, and I think we're going to have a good match tonight. Tell us a little bit about who's playing tonight, would you, Joe?
Well, tonight we've got Tolmandary's champions who are top of the league at the moment, and up against them, which seems contrasting and almost kind of ironic, is CC's the Blazing Squigskins, an art team that are based in the Squig Pen, which is where we're watching the game tonight. Both teams look as though they've got a lot to prove. Hopefully, we'll be in for a bit of a treat for this game.
Yes. Now I see. Funnily enough, Tolmandary's champions won the toss, but it looks like it's the Orcs who are going to be kicking off. So it's an offensive game tonight by Tolmandary's champions. Do you think they're looking to just crush the Orcs?
I mean, if they can deal enough damage to the if they can reduce the number of players they have to go up against, then I guess they might be in for a good shout for it. Well, from the looks of things on Tolmandary's champions team, looks like we've got a new face on the team. It looks like a mercenary werewolf as opposed to one of the regulars. I think his last game, one of Tolmandary's champions werewolves got taken out with a pretty bad injury. So it'll be interesting to see how this mercenary does.
Yeah, it's a funny thing with the werewolves. They can be incredibly fast, incredibly powerful, but it seems like every time I see them, they're getting smacked about. Okay, we've got the kick off.
Yes, here goes the kick, and we've got some cheering fans for this game.
Yeah, extra team reroll for Tolmandary's champions at the start. He's going to make good use of that, I'm sure.
It's a solid enough. That's a solid enough kick. Lands right next to one of the whites.
Yeah. Would have been nice for him if it had gone a little for CC if it had gone a little bit further back. Let's see where she takes it from there.
So here comes the opening blitz. He knocks the Orc lineman down. Looks like Tolmandary's players are setting up to try and knock down as many of the Orc team as they can. Oh, wow! Our first death of the game.
Oh, he's not taking any prisoners.
And it looks like the magic sponges came out and managed to save the Orc Blitzer for this, so he joins the substitutes. But wow, that was a close call there.
Yeah, well, that's certainly something that's going to have CC wondering how the game's going to go.
And the white manages to get his hands on the ball and is making his way down towards the line.
Yeah, see if he can bust his way through, I guess.
Looks like Tolmandary's kind of foregoing building a cage at the moment. Unless, nope, yep, he's moving his golems up.
I think that's a wise move. Those flesh golems, they are so powerful, so difficult to get past, aren't they?
Oh, and I was stand corrected. It looks like Tolmandary's players are now using their only blitz for this turn. And has stunned one of the Orc linemen.
Poor old Rocklaw. So, zombies coming on round. Do you know, it surprises me in a way that Tolmandary's gone that side of the pitch. What's just happened there?
Looks as though they went over to the Orc turn.
No, I'll tell you exactly what's just happened. My crystal ball's just gone on the fritz, and I think I've just lost a few seconds, or rewound a few seconds.
Oh.
I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. Let me just try twiddling here.
And there goes a KO.
Yes, Ishmael Felon. Is that right? Are we more or less on?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Damn this crystal ball! It's got a crack in it. I dropped it, when I was just hopping over the wall earlier.
So you didn't buy it from a cheap emporium or anything?
No. I only borrow the best. No, it's just been hard times for me recently. I've just been having to avoid a few people. Oh, and speaking of avoiding, God, I bet he wished he'd avoided that one. That's decked him.
Oh, there goes one of the other flesh golems on the deck. So not a lot of terrible damage against Tolmandary's champions in that last turn. But here we go. Here comes the next. Here comes their next turn, and wow, one of the zombies managed to crowd surf the orcs well, basically crowd surfed them. Enough said.
Knocked him right over, got him trodden on. Now we got a stun on Grampek. I mean, I'm saying that. Are you seeing a stun on Grampek, or have I fiddled with this?
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing it. Oh,
this dodgy equipment. I'm seeing stuff forward in time.
That's a double down. That's rather unfortunate for Tolmandary, because now his ball carrier is right next to a black orc who has
no
other.
His ass handed to him, isn't he?
Oh no, he managed to stay on his feet.
Yeah, he's kept
with him.
We've got the blitz coming in now, though. That's going to take him down, surely.
Single dice. Yep. There he goes.
You know, it's a beautiful thing to behold. Has he lost a single game yet, Tolmandary?
I think he's only lost one, but I guess he wouldn't be this high up in the table if he'd lost a fair more. If he'd lost more.
That's true. That's true. Still, it's nice to see the Orcs making progress. They've really pushed him there, haven't they?
Yeah, that opening gambit at the start of his drive doesn't seem to have paid off well. But you never know. We might see that. We might see the improved maneuverability of the undead show itself.
It's hard to know, because I mean, these greenskins, they're a bit slow and a bit stupid from time to time, but the more they play, the more they up their skills, the more awe-inspiring they become. They're like tanks, these things, and they're just pounding their way through the flesh.
Especially the blitzers, which CC has two of them, which has they are supposed to be quite ferocious and powerful. Deadly combination.
Well, as I understand it, they've actually upgraded the blitzers last game. I think they've both now got Frenzy and Mighty Blow, which is just a horrific combination.
Especially with their starting out block skill as well.
Well, yeah.
Well, there we go. Tolmandary's White has managed to blitz the ball back and knocked it out of the blitzer's hands. So, in case of now trying to get some bodies around it so he can secure it.
Speaking of bodies, that's a zombie that's just come up, isn't it, to mark the ball?
I mean, he looks like one of your customers for your Nova pies.
Shut it. Okay. On to turn 3.
So far, there's a lot of stand-up fights at the moment. There's nothing. Apart from like the earlier kind of breakaway with the ball for CC's Squigskins, it looks as though the Tolmandary might be able to salvage it.
Yeah, well, certainly they've managed to sort of pull back a half-decent position. Gosh, I wasn't expecting the Orc to try and dodge out there, though.
Yeah, and he's got the ball.
That's changed there, yes.
So
okay, that makes all the difference.
So the Squigskins now just need to try and free up as many players as they can and try and create a cage or a counter cage for the one that's currently enveloping the Orc Blitzer.
Yeah. I mean, certainly if CC can sort of stymie the Necromantics who are there around the ball, then she's going to run free and cause real havoc on the touchdown line. But it's just getting harder and harder, isn't it? There's more and more of these undead coming along. Oof!
Okay,
nasty headbutt. Chances of that are minimal, but. I mean, when you've got that many players around, it is worth trying.
It goes out, and it gets thrown back in. Again, Kurt fails to catch it, but oh no!
Double skull.
Double skull, but luckily he's re-rolled it.
Yes.
And he's blocking him into the ball.
Onto the ball. Again, hoping for that lucky bounce and catch.
It's in a dangerous position as well, especially it's in a strong enough position for CC now, because if this turn Tolmandary's if none of Tolmandary's players get their hands on it, it'll be in a safe enough position for CC to pick it up.
always worrying though, isn't it? Trying to pick up the ball on the touch, on the sideline, because it's so easy. You know, they get covered in blood, in sweat, in snot, and once it's gone out, it can be thrown back almost anywhere on the pitch, and the best laid plans just go awry.
And sometimes the ball might not even be the thing that's thrown back in. It might even just be a goblin or a nobbler rolled up.
Well, you know, we can always find use for them. Speaking of which, it's looking like we've got some new cameramen on the pitch. I don't think these are the normal nobblers. Nobblers?
I think we've upgraded. I think we've gone from nobblers to gobbles.
Yeah.
And dodge from the black arm.
Nice.
He's managed to get that blitz in.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. He's kind of cleared the. Well, he's not fully cleared it yet.
Ah, what a fool! Trying to dodge back and pick up the ball.
And he's knocked out.
Yeah, that's gone really bad for CC there.
And he's landed on the ball as well, which means it's going to bounce somewhere.
Yeah, and the chances are, well, 3 chances out of 9 that's going to go straight off the pitch, isn't it? And it has.
It does.
Yep, tossed back in. That's not much good for either team, actually.
I mean, we've got Tolmandary's got 4 turns left to try and get it up the field. And he's still got a fair number of orcs kind of getting in the way.
Yeah. And really, you know, the orcs that are in the centre of the pitch, it's not going to take much for them to plough their way through those.
Blitz from the golem pushes the white out of his tackle zone. That frees him up so that he picks it up and he's making his way down the field. That is some nice block setup. Even like that is some intuitive and nice block setup from Tolmandary, just taking advantage of just the number of players around them.
Yeah, very much so. And it was unlucky to get the both down on that, because it means he hasn't got anybody round him to help protect that ball carrier now, so he's going to have to be really careful.
Blitzer's pushed back, but no, it doesn't have enough movement. Well, either doesn't have enough movement, or CC's not unwilling to risk the other blitzer going down.
Yeah.
Oh! Well, this game is certainly shaping up. Hopefully we'll see some more violence.
Well, yeah. And if the Orcs are lucky, they'll actually have a little bit of a half-time snap.
And he's back up. He's back up on his feet.
What a shame.
Oh, we roll from a double down into a double down.
Yeah, and that's Galor KO'd.
Oh god, I mean, it's looking like the it's looking like the Orcs are starting to drop now.
Yeah.
Which definitely helps Tolmandary if he's trying to get past him and down the field.
Yeah, big time. I think, to be honest, Tolmandary would be quite surprised at how much of a fight CC's put up against him, considering their relative positions in the league.
So there's only one blitzer on the field for the Orcs.
Yeah.
So that's like the fastest player on CC's team currently.
Yeah, I think she's going to be hard pushed to stop his touchdown at this point.
I mean, if Tolmandary can continue to throw roadblocks in front of the other Orc players, or even just knock them down altogether.
Yeah, and he's smart enough to know to do that as well, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't have got this high up if he wasn't smart.
Yeah.
Or lucky.
Oh, we got a smashed hand.
Ooh.
Grampic is injured, will miss the next game.
Looks as though it's just a case of trying either curtailing or just damage throw as much damage as we can at the Squigskins.
Definitely. It's quite a savage game, though. I wasn't expecting it to be quite this brutal to both sides. You know, the teams are really killing out now. I guess they'll both be hoping that when there is a touchdown, or when half time comes, that they get a few of their players back.
And here goes Black Orc taking on Flesh Golem, and
taking him down but not out.
That's freeing him up so he can mark him.
Yeah.
And he can't really blitz him away, so it's going to be a case for Tolmandary's White to try and dodge out.
Yes, unless he can bring somebody in to knock that orc out of the way, of course.
Well, he's got the other white, I guess, but he's only strength 3. So we would need to be another zombie or even the werewolf, which could actually work because the werewolf's actually got he's got help from one of the zombies next to him.
Yes, of course. Oh God, we've got some more crowd surfing. You can always hear those bones crack, can't you?
It's a double down. That's not good. That's I guess that might have stymied. Yeah, that's definitely throwing a wrench in the works, and that's especially going to make it long, especially through the entire cottage and all the way out.
Come on now, we'll pick it up.
Let's. And yeah, looks like we might have a scoreless first half.
See how they can do anything about it now. Maybe get in a sneaky pass if they can for some star player points, but
I don't think we'll see it this turn.
No.
Oh, unless.
Well, that was a good bit of manoeuvring to get in there, I have to say. Makes it harder for Tolmandary. Oh dear.
I mean, near the end of this half, both teams they've had some players removed, some more permanently than others, but it's definitely looking like both teams will have reduced numbers for second half.
Yeah, chances of them all coming back is fairly slim. So it looks like they're really just going for the punching now. Nobody's bothering trying to get them all.
Well, I mean, it is a legitimate strategy.
Yeah.
When in
Some
doubt,
people even say that
out.
you don't even need a ball in Bloodbowl, you know? You just keep pounding each other until somebody's head comes off, and then you use that. Oh, there's the werewolf taken down.
Yeah,
nice.
both. So CC's basically just I mean, orcs are more than keen to play that game style.
They really are. They really are. It makes them a pleasure to watch, doesn't it? So 0-0 half time. Let's see who's coming back, and then we'll have a chat about who we think might take the lead.
So Tolmandary looks though they've got most of their players back.
Yeah, what have we got there now? 2, 4, 6. Only 8 orcs left on the pitch by the looks of it. And this is one tucked down the back.
Wait. So we'll probably definitely. So yeah, one of the linemen will probably be thrown back there. At least CC has both blitzers.
Yes, and I think those are going to make the difference for her. But
oh, sorry, I could say corrected again. She has 3 blitzers.
Yeah. Look at that. She's really having to play positionally now, just trying to sort of keep her strength where she can. But she's going to need to be careful because those werewolves have got some legs on them. They can really get around the side, and if they get the ball, they're very hard to stop when you're low on numbers.
Here comes the kick, and the referee is getting sicked.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's always nice to see the referee being bullied a little bit, isn't it? So many bad calls from them. Do you know the amount of times I've had my team stamping on somebody and the ref has the cheek to say we're fouling when obviously all we're doing is playing Bloodbowl. So yeah, always happy when the ref gets attacked.
Well, I mean, it's fair game if the players are standing up, not so much if they're on the ground.
Well, you know, I mean, vertical, horizontal, who's to say which is which? It might be just a very wide player who's very short.
So, looks as though CC's building an impromptu cage. I guess given the fact that she's got reduced numbers, she's obviously going to have to, and also the fact that there's a lot of turns to kind of burn through. She's going to have to try and play it slow, but also just try and keep her team as as intact as she can.
What do you make of that cross tactic though for the cage? Normally we see a square, but they're in a cross there. Doesn't that open the ball carrier up a little bit from the diagonal?
It does. It'll be interesting to see how. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people are too used to seeing I guess the four corners, but it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the strength from the Black Orc at the front, so I guess him providing an assist, and then the two blitzers with a block on either side, and if it's the Mighty Blow and Frenzy ones, that might get pulled out of alignment really quickly. But having block in itself, it might throw it more in her favor.
Yeah, but look how easily that zombie and that werewolf just got in right next to the ball carrier, putting that pressure on. I think that was a mistake from CC there. Hopefully one she can learn from.
Oh, yeah.
Nice bit of brutality there.
The lesson might be a lot harder than we expected after that.
Yeah. So that's another KO there. And we're on to turn 10. So, I mean, it's a pretty punchy game. Can you see any way that either team can sort of, I don't know, get past the others? They seem so tightly matched in terms of their punchability.
Well, I mean, as long as you keep the ball moving, I guess any other team than Orcs, I would probably, if the Orcs were any other, like a more faster team, then your main advantage would be to try and use your higher movement to keep as much distance as you can, stretch out the undead, or just bog them down one side and try and flip the ball over. But because both teams are similarly quite slow, I guess there's the only other. Usually, Orcs would probably rely on their brute strength and their high toughness to kind of whittle down the opposing team, open lanes up, and less I guess less chasers to come after. As long as
you kind of wish sometimes, don't you, that they could get a pass in, because that one pass can make all the difference to make space. But with either of these teams, I just wouldn't trust. I don't think any of the players to pass. You'd have to be in a pretty desperate situation.
I don't think it helps. It probably doesn't help with the team with the Orcs now kind of dropping like flies. So
there's not many of them left, is there? Jeez.
Yeah, six players.
Yeah.
Tolmandary now has the luxury of just kind of throwing people in, throwing his players in, and getting as many assists in for the blocks.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's going for the takeout now, isn't he?
Here we go.
Oh, it's a skull. I got the power. That's where the extra reroll comes in handy, I guess.
Oh. The Orcs of this half managed to keep a hold of the ball a lot more, but
yeah, managed to dodge out of the way there as well. That's fantastic.
The main danger I think at the moment is that CC's players are getting isolated. They're getting picked up, pulled away, and isolated by numerous players. So it's a lot tougher for her to get players through.
Yeah, she needs to be able to sort of move the team as a unit to try to sort of defend and wall up the wall up for the ball carrier. But oh man, with those two flesh golems there engaging those two in the middle, it's going to be really difficult to get many more players out there to help. And those shamblers, they're not tough or scary in any way, but they just keep following, don't they? They just keep getting in those tackle zones, making it hard to move.
I mean, some representatives in the league have questioned whether or not necromantic teams have been using kind of brain pate as a sort of kind of like coating it on the ball to kind of encourage the zombies to move towards the ball rather than anything else.
I mean, it sounds like a reasonable tactic to me. The downside being, of course, it does make the ball that much slippier and harder to control, and of course that affects everybody. So I don't know how effective the tactic is.
I mean, you're forgetting there's also the off chance that if the zombie or if the shamblers do get their hands on them, they might unintentionally eat it. Which, I mean, it's nothing new. We see trolls eating their smaller teammates all the time. But yeah,
it's true, and that's not even in pies, is it? It's just literally just picking them up and eating them.
So Tolmandary, so the white for Tolmandry's team has managed to free up the ball, and they're making their way down.
It has, and that's sending a shiver right down my spine on CC's behalf. Oh, it's a lovely little dodge. No, have you got a reroll? Excellent. This is something to make me proud. Clearly, she's been watching my team with the whole dodging and decided, yes, that's the way to go.
Yeah, this game has definitely been full of highs and lows, and twists and turns.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at just what a tough fight CC's put up, and how ineffective really Tolmandary's been against her.
Oh no!
And
it was another KO.
God, it's impressive. Another Orc gone out.
It is impressive considering like the number disparity between the two.
Yeah. How does that play out when it comes to? Does it make a difference when it comes to sort of rewards at the end of the game or skill points earned if you've got that differential, or is it purely in sort of the pre-game money that you get?
It doesn't really affect. I mean, unless the team suffers a lot of deaths and therefore have to make a lot of replacements, it doesn't really affect. I guess it doesn't really affect the amount of like rewards, riches that come through it. I mean, unless someone dips their finger in the pot too much and gets caught stealing, and then there's all of the administration from the leagues. There's the fines that go towards it. There's the bribes that need to be. The official fees that need to be paid. In terms of like risk, I guess the rewards for the players, there have been instances in the past where players who have found themselves dying and unfortunately ending up in their necromantic teams getting the MVP for the game.
That's a couple of nice blows there. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's a shame, you know. I think if a team like CC's, who's sort of down near the bottom of the league, can put up such a good fight against somebody who's at the very top of their game, I don't know. It just seems to me like they should get a bigger reward in acknowledgement of what they've done. But well, I guess that's down to the NAF, isn't it, as to how they want to do these kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think those kind of incentives were kind of suggested during the earlier days of the league, and even before the initial collapse of the NAF, it was, you know, it started out with the best of intentions, and then obviously some unscrupulous characters decided to take advantage of it. So I guess in this new version of the league, we do have some. There's some oversight in place, but it does come up. It can be. It swings and roundabouts, I guess. It can be really unfair.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, it's given me the greatest of pleasure just seeing the discomfort that Tolmandary's been put to in this game, and I still hope for a touchdown, and I hope it's the Orcs who score it. I'm sure Tolmandary would understand and wouldn't at any point just decide to mute me and kick me off of the team. He's big enough and ugly enough to take it.
I mean, that's if he leaves the stadium and tries to catch you now.
No, he's no way he's going to find me. Once I finish with this recording, mate, I'm dumping this ball and I'm in the wind. Oh, it's a slip up there, isn't it? What an embarrassment. Now, is there any way the Orcs can get hold of that ball and get a touchdown?
Oh no, not if they slip.
Well, you know, you say slip. That looked to me very much like that was just a dirty little trip. That's a real shame.
I mean, they're undead, loose limbs and all.
Yeah. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, shall we?
So looks as though Tolmandary's trying to increase their chances of being able to pick up the ball.
No.
And oh no! See this happened. I think it was 2 games ago for
Yeah.
Tolmandary when the previous games where his whites couldn't pick up the ball, and it was
we have
really
no money.
really yeah.
Oh, we've got another slip. Now, if he plays this canny, he could get down to the end and throw it and get a touchdown. I really hope to God he doesn't, but...
Nope. Tolmandary's now finally
straight to
got
the
his hands on it.
werewolf. It's a handoff. And he slipped!
Last turn as well, and that, wow, that... Where did the time go?
It just flew, didn't it?
It just flew by, but it's there. Yeah, game finishes with no scores for both teams. That was unexpected, but that was superb playing from both coaches.
It really was. Now we got 12 armor breaks on Tolmandary's champions, only 4 on the Orcs.
4 for the Squigskins. Part of that, you can kind of see that, like, by the end of like the composition of how many players were left in both teams on the field, but that is that is definitely something.
It was a punishing game, no two ways about it. A real punishing game. Pretty evenly matched in many ways. Look at that, 25% ball possession each, 12% each on the opponent's halves. Yeah, that was a real proper good match. I mean, obviously it's always more fun when you actually see some touchdowns. You know, you want to see that, but there is definitely something to be said in a game where you just see each other like nearly getting there and trying and just grabbing them back, and you know, the struggle. It can be real fun to watch. But no score for either team. I don't know how that's going to affect the standings in the league. I suspect it's really not going to make a huge difference in their standings in the league, but it does make Tolmandary that little bit easier for other players to catch, doesn't it? Because of course with the draw, I think you only get, is it 1 point for a draw, whereas it's 3 for a win?
I think so, yeah. So he'll stay. So Tolmandary's champions will stay at the top of the league for the time being, unless something really drastic happens in the next few games.
Yeah.
So which it could happen. Anything can happen in this game.
It can, and of course, it's not going to be too long before we get the next match and see what's happening. I believe it is pretty soon. We're going to have, is it Dunkster versus JP? I think is coming up next. So
the Burping Clowns and the
Tiny Rocks.
And the Tiny Rocks, of course. Yeah,
yes.
that'll be an interesting game to watch. Both teams are pretty strong, pretty competitive in this, from what we've seen in the league so far.
Yes, and it's a cracking pair of coaches, so I look forward to seeing that match. There is the Bullet Survivor versus my own team as well. That's coming up just around the corner. I won't drop any secrets as to what's happening on there, but I think we'll have some fun on both of those matches. And then pretty soon we're going to be moving into the next round. I can't believe how quickly this cup is going.
Yeah, the time flies.
Yeah,
the time flies, especially when you've been glued to your crystal ball for so long watching these games.
That's true. Well, look, thank you ever so much for joining me commentating tonight, Joe. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you, Double D, and I hope you manage to get home okay and not get lynched.
I will be absolutely fine. The question is where I'm going to go to next, just to avoid these mobs. But don't worry, I'll be back soon enough. All right, you take care of yourself.
And I guess the question that the audience can ask is, where can I watch more of these exciting, action-packed games of everyone's favorite fantasy football?
Yeah, and the answer is, of course, on Smash and Grab TV. So join us next time, won't you? Goodbye.
Good night.